The Cincinnati Bengals traveled to Minneapolis, Minnesota, to take on the Minnesota Vikings in a matchup that featured unexpected quarterback changes for both teams. Jake Browning got the start for Cincinnati after relieving Joe Burrow in Week 2, when Burrow suffered a left toe injury that could jeopardize his season. His status remains uncertain moving forward. Meanwhile, the Vikings found themselves in a similar situation, as veteran journeyman Carson Wentz took over under center for the injured on-year starter J.J. McCarthy. McCarthy is essentially a rookie in the NFL. Both teams entered the contest hoping their backup quarterbacks could keep their respective offenses on track amid early season adversity. While we expected McCarthy to start, Wentz would shine in this game. In fact, it's hard to pick an area where the Vikings did not succeed, as the Vikings put on a clinic Sunday in a 48-10 victory over the Cincinnati Bengals, showcasing how opportunistic defense, a steady ground game, and mistake-free execution can utterly topple a previously surging team. The time of possession was nearly identical, with the Vikings controlling the ball for 30 minutes and 56 seconds, and the Bengals having the ball for 29 minutes and 4 seconds. The Vikings totaled 352 yards, and the Bengals had 171. Cincinnati turned the ball over 5 times, while Minnesota committed none. For the Vikings, the rushing game was a key advantage. Minnesota rushed for 169 yards, averaged 5.5 yards per carry, but Cincinnati couldn't get anything going and totaled just 53 yards at 2.5 yards per carry. The Vikings did not have any turnovers, but the Bengals committed 5, which illustrated just how this game went all game. Let's go digging deeper into what went right for the Vikings. To begin with early strikes and turnover capitalization, Minnesota's opening drive resulted in a 12-yard touchdown pass from Carson Wentz to Josh Oliver, and shortly thereafter, cornerback Isaiah Rodgers intercepted Cincinnati and returned it 87 yards for a score, setting a tone of dominance. Running back Jordan Mason piled up 116 rushing yards and 2 touchdowns, giving Minnesota sustained drives and keeping the Bengals' defense on its heels. Isaiah Rodgers forced multiple fumbles and had 2 defensive touchdowns, 1 interception return, 1 fumble return, the first player in NFL history to do so in one game. Minnesota also got a special teams boost, with a 62-yard field goal by Will Reichard before halftime added to the blowout nature of the day. It's fair to suggest that Rodgers was the game's turning point. His pick six early in the first quarter set a 14-0 tone that Cincinnati never recovered from. Later, his forced fumble and return extended the lead to 34-3 by halftime. Rodgers became the first player in NFL history to score 2 defensive touchdowns, an interception and a fumble recovery, and 2 forced fumbles in the same half. For the Bengals, turnovers killed momentum, as the Bengals' 5 turnovers directly led to about 31 points for Minnesota. Every time Cincinnati got a sniff of life, a turnover jolted the momentum, and the inability to get anything going on the ground with just 53 rushing yards, or 2.5 yards per carry, Cincinnati couldn't sustain drives or relieve pressure on their passing game. This was a bigger problem for backup Jake Browning, and while he displayed some good things last weekend in relief of Burrow, and even a few seasons ago when Burrow was injured, this was not one of those games. Browning completed 19 of 27 passes for 140 yards, tossing 1 touchdown and 2 interceptions. His miscues were costly. Another factor problem for the Bengals Cats was with penalties. Cincinnati piled up 45 penalty yards, and while time of possession was only slightly worse, their inability to convert on third downs, 3 of 11, hampered any chance of staying in the game.